Did you know that Judge Martin Fee has officially set a second bond hearing for YNW Melly on Tuesday, May 6, 2025? Melly's attorney, Raven Liberty, is expected to argue for his release during the hearing. According to a lawyer present in court, Judge Fee appeared visibly frustrated and is reportedly considering dismissing the case altogether. The state has been accused of treating the penalty phase like an afterthought, disregarding court orders and showing up unprepared. In response, Melly's defense kept their argument straightforward, telling the new judge that no firearm was ever recovered in connection with the case, reinforcing their position that he should be released from jail.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what to use.
Okay.
Melly's legal team also presented GPS data and text messages from the time of the crime, which they claim prove he was actually fleeing the scene running down the street as the incident unfolded.
Carter can say someone just shut the car up and was trying to shoot him. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Zach and Judy? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
However, Judge Fee later ruled that Melly should be given a chance at bond release before the trial begins, emphasizing that it's unjust for him to have spent years in jail without a conviction. Shortly after, it was revealed that Melly's ex, Mariah, was allowed to return home. She posted a heartfelt statement, saying, "And to my village, thank you. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine," expressing her discomfort with being thrust into the media spotlight.
Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
In an unusual move, the court announced that Melly must now make an informed decision about who he wants to represent him moving forward. He's been sitting in jail for 2,159 days, and Judge Fee made it clear he wants the case to finally move forward without further delays.
Let me repeat myself. Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's the Broward Sheriff's Office. But I can, as I said, I'm just asking for, and then I'm asking for at least a day or two. And then
we'll decide by tomorrow. But also preserve all of tomorrow.
The judge was stunned by how long Melly had been held without a verdict and demanded that prosecutors justify why he should remain behind bars, or else he'd be granted bond. That's when prosecutors came down hard, presenting new evidence and revealing what they claimed was Melly's motive. According to a member of O-Block, Melly allegedly committed the crime in hopes of making more money through the YNW brand.
Really tell you that Melly told him that he was too friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if when people can say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Burn was mad at me, bro. Why you put that, bro? Who out the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, him was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around him?
This was meant to stay a secret, something Melly had confided in King Von. But before Von passed away, he reportedly shared the story. Melly's alleged motive centered around frustration over money. He and Bortland were the ones doing concerts, pushing merch, and securing brand deals, while Sack Chaser and Juvie seemingly weren't contributing much. And if you know how King Von handled street situations, you can imagine the kind of advice he gave Mel when that is paired with evidence of Melly allegedly admitting to the crime just hours after it happened. It paints a very damaging picture for his defense.
Tom asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account said what?
After that, S-H-H-H-H.
Also on Melly's phone was a video from someone's Facebook, which showed Bortland and Melly being happy.
Also found on Melly's phone was a video pulled from someone's Facebook, showing both Melly and Bortland smiling and appearing cheerful just hours after Sack Chaser and Juvie had been killed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! But no, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
The video was seen as a sign that Melly and Bortland showed no remorse for the deaths of their close friends. Investigators also took a closer look at the physical evidence, particularly the Jeep they were all riding. According to Sergeant Williams, the evidence made it clear the shots had to have come from someone inside the vehicle.
Rounds were inside.
3. From the driver's side back seat.
As to topic, Christopher Thomas. Where did that
Driver's side back seat. My determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that.
Sergeant Williams confirmed that the shooter had to be in the back left seat of the vehicle, and that's when Juve's mother stepped forward and revealed exactly who was sitting there that night.
Can you state your name before we go into here? I'm Leon Curtis. And are you related to one of the Yes, I am. How's it? Mother. And who is that? Christopher Thomas. Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep? Yes. Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep? Yes. Which seat? If you can identify specifically. He got in the back seat on the right hand side. Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side? Yes. And who was that individual? Jamil.
That's when prosecutors made their boldest move yet. They're now planning to flip Bortland against Melly, using a new strategy. They aim to try both of them in court at the same time, increasing pressure on Bortland to testify and turn on Melly.
Try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking the penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. We're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
Because if Bortland truly believes he had no part in the deaths of Sack Chaser and Juvie, he's not likely to sit back and accept a life sentence. That makes it very possible he could end up pointing the finger at Melly to save himself, since in the first trial, Melly's own lawyer had already attempted to shift the blame onto Bortland.
Courtroom Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car, two bodies, car, riddled with bullets. When he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having the phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in the pocket, not Courtland Henry.
A forensic scientist also backed up the findings, confirming the presence of gunpowder residue on his hands. As she stated, the evidence strongly suggests he discharged a firearm around the time of the shooting.
So the right hand of Courtland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of pot residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of pot residue and 1 2-component particle.
And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was pot residue present on the hands.
Bortland wasn't happy about any of this. After the gunpowder evidence surfaced, he tweeted, "Mind games don't work on people like me," along with a handshake emoji almost as if he were signaling that he's ready to make a deal. But things are looking even worse for Melly. Investigators uncovered disturbing evidence from Mariah's iCloud account, allegedly showing that Melly pressured her not to testify in court. That's considered witness tampering, a serious charge that alone could land him a life sentence, regardless of whether he's found guilty in the deaths of Sack Chaser and Juvie.
6 new charges against Demmons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
Not to mention, the witness tampering charge would be a separate case entirely, bringing even more legal fees for Melly. With Mariah deeply tied to the situation, Juvie's father took it upon himself to investigate exactly how Melly tried to manipulate her as a witness.